Well, hello there, gorgeous souls, and welcome back. I'm Terry Kindon, the Celestial Manifester, and today I want to share a special video on solstice because there is a lot of magic afoot here, and I realize this needs to go out immediately. So, we're going to dive into the astrology quickly first, and then I'm going to show you the human design. The reason I bring these together is to really help you embody the energy. I find looking at the human design helps you to kind of physically understand where it may be showing up in your physical body. Whereas the astrology is like just the foundation. This is the beautiful blueprint of the stars in this particular moment. It's immovable. We've got to work with it however it works for you. And this will show up differently for every single one of us. So I may say something that you're like, I don't get it. That doesn't make sense to me. Take what resonates, throw away what doesn't, and it's absolutely perfect always, all the time. So without further ado, let's dive into the astrology chart first, just so you can see the beautiful energy. I always find these videos so funny because I'm like, can you see it now? But you can't respond to me. So here we go. All right, I pulled this for Toronto time, Eastern Standard Time. And you will see all of the action in the top quadrant of the chart in the Northern Hemisphere. So when we look here, we are a Cancer rising chart. So it's like everybody is more attuned to their emotional selves. Remember, solstice is a time for us to quiet down, to go deep. The hard part about that at this time in December is that everybody's ramping up, not slowing down. So you get to choose how you want to use this energy for yourself to either, maybe slow down for the next couple of days if you've got all your things done. And if you don't have them all done, like who cares? Do what you can. And it'll be great, whatever it is, no matter what, because, you can only do so much. You are one person, not 10 people. And if we take that pressure off of ourselves, it kind of makes it a little bit easier. So with this energy here of the Cancer rising, it's like we're tuned in, very sensitive, very connected. You can see in the first house of this chart. So you will see, where's the Cancer chart for you? For me, it's at my midheaven, but where's yours? Okay. And we've got Pallas Athena here. We have Black Moon Lilith. I know some people will be like, holy crap, there's a lot of things in this chart. I don't think it's a chart without the goddesses, okay? I just don't think it's a chart without the goddesses. So they always will be in my charts because they give us a deeper expression of our energy, how we, really show up in our feminine aspect, because they're the moon and Venus are literally the only feminine aspects if we're not including in the goddesses. So I include them because they do bring dimension. We think about the Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom, and she's giving us all of this, like she's sending us feelings, okay? All of these, the emotional set point is this Cancerian energy. So we're tuned, we're so tuned in. Black Moon Lilith there as well, and part of fortune is like the gift. And you got Pallas Athena conjunct the part of fortune, giving us this like beautiful gift of our own wisdom, an awakening of our wisdom. And remember, this is kind of the snapshot at solstice time, which somebody said it was 4:47, but I was like, that still makes it a Sagittarius sun. So I ticked it over just like a couple of minutes till it became a Capricorn sun. But you take it how you will. Again, I am no like lifelong astrologer. This is my viewpoint from my perspective. Take it or leave it, your choice, but this is how it's going to be in this chart today. So when we look over to the opposite side of all this tuned in, tapped in energy, we move over to Capricorn, this grounding. Remember, Cancer is water, okay? This Capricorn side of us is like the grounded piece, the boost to the ground. I think we've had a lot of energy in Sagittarius. Now it's grounding down from fire. It's coming into like the visionary, the like big picture. Now it's coming into refinement. It's where like things get a little bit more serious in the sense of now I need to put some legs on these dreams if they're actually going to be able to move forward. So you've had all this time for big vision, big expansion. And now with the sun conjunct Hygeia, preventative health and wellness, the goddess of preventative health, she's here with us saying, okay, like, how are we taking great care of ourselves every single day? Because it's in the sixth house. So this is about your health. This is about your wellness. And I like to think of, with that Cancer rising, it could be a little bit of, are we giving too much out to everyone else? And this is very true at this time of the year. How can we take really optimal care of ourselves in this time? Well, one of the things I tell like a lot of people in coaching containers with me right now is, protecting your energy between things. Okay. So between clients, between engagements with like going to stores or just any other person you're coming in contact with, is this my energy or is this their energy? Like just checking in to be like, am I like not my circus, not my monkey? Because sometimes if you're a very empathetic, tuned in person, people will just come and dump all their stuff on you. And this is that time of year where they're dumping a lot more than usual. So it's like deep breath, not mine. Okay, this is somebody else's. Clear it however you need to clear it. I've always I carry around crystals and all the things for myself as a reminder, as just a reminder. Am I clearing my energy? Am I clearing my energy? Is this somebody else's energy? Because by nature, I'm not like highly emotional person. So if I become very sensitive and emotional, I'm like, what's transiting or who am I hanging out with? And that's something that you may want to pay attention to now as well. And if it's at a family gathering and you can't get away, you can still go to the bathroom. Go lock yourself in the bathroom for 5 minutes. Just say you're having a long movement. It's taking time. Clear your energy, do your thing, and then come back out. That will be a way for you to honor this Hygeia and honor yourself, in this time. So, of course, this is just the snapshot for solstice, but it's like, how can you go in? How can you decompress yourself? How can you release the energy of others so that you can feel more grounded, more in your own self, more in your physicality, and more confident? Okay. We've got the moon in Sagittarius. The moon in Sagittarius is still like thinking about the bigger picture, feeling into the big picture, excited about, what's to come, what is coming. There is this bubbling of excitement that I feel like is rising. And that moon is the visionary moon. It's thinking expansively. So just allow yourself to expand, but also knowing like you're very grounded at the same time, because you have this energy of let's build the dream. Let's build the dream. Let's physically build the dream into the world. Venus is in Capricorn. Mercury is in Capricorn. And remember, Mercury is about to go retrograde. So he's still in his shadow period, but he's conjunct Venus, awakening us to, what's the new story we're writing about our femininity? What are we telling other people about our feminine aspect, feminine energy? Because it's in the seventh house as well, which is relationships, partnerships, and this can be a time of beginnings here as well. It can be a time of revitalizing relationship, adding new dimension. I mean, there is this opposition happening to Pallas Athena, Black Moon Lilith, and part of fortune. Like the gift is in the change, the gift is in the shift, the gift is in our wisdom. Do you trust your wisdom enough? Do you have a connection to spirit, God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, that you allow yourself to be in the flow of the emotions that you're feeling, to identify, how am I showing up in this relationship? Am I showing up as this full new version I want to be, or am I still showing up somewhat, I don't want to say the word subservient, but like somewhat diminished in my power? So that's the question to play with, because Pluto is also here. Okay. And he's close enough. I wouldn't say like some people would say it was conjunct, some people wouldn't, but it's close enough. Pluto, god of the underworld, really creating this energy of death, transformation, rebirth, and not to talk about it like death, but just like, okay, we're going through this makeover, this remodel. There's something happening here about how we're communicating, how we're showing up in our femininity. And, if you're working with this consciously, it will be less like, but if you're not working with this consciously and you're just like going with all of it and not paying attention to how you're feeling around your feminine energy, you may get a rude awakening. You may. So just paying attention to that. Okay. Am I taking responsibility for, like, if I want to be more powerful in my life, am I allowing myself to do that or not? It's just that simple. The other thing I just wanted to point out too is, like, we literally have Ceres at 0 degrees, Moon at 0 degrees, Hygeia at 0 degrees, Jupiter at 0 degrees. Like, this is a very new, fresh beginning for all of us to ground something into, Mother Earth. Ceres is Mother Earth, the beautiful energy of building something physically here. And she's in Libra, so she wants, us to take better care of the earth, this balance, this justice, this, like, things coming to light. And Jupiter's up here in Aries, so he just ticked over from Pisces into Aries, and there is this really interesting, we're building it's a brand new 12-year cycle that we've just come into, and it takes a while for us to dry ourselves off from the waters of Pisces into the fire of Aries, and that initiating, it's just building. It's just building now. So you're feeling the momentum, you're feeling things changing, you're feeling yourself come to light. And if you're not yet, don't worry, it will come. This new trajectory of where we are going is definitely already started. Okay. So pay attention to what's starting for you now. Pay attention to the sense of, like, what do I feel like I want to build? And maybe it's building a new health routine. Maybe this is the year you go and build the garden so you can feed yourself, nourish yourself, honor yourself, and put your hands in the dirt every single day. Maybe that's what you set as an intention over your solstice time. Because remember, what you're setting now, it's sort of like for the year ahead. It's from solstice to solstice potentially. So maybe it's from, December to December, or maybe again, you want to just go to the equinox, like whatever. So 6 months, whatever feels really good for you. It's like sitting in the quiet and allowing yourself to be away from others, to be in your own frequency, to be in your own energy, to get quiet, to get clear, and set yourself on this new path, mindfully setting yourself on this new path and moving yourself forward. So I'm going to flip over into the astrology chart, or the human design chart, because I feel like there's a lot of things that will land. We can come back and finish off here. But I do think it'll be really lovely for you to see this and then be able to ground it in a little bit deeper. So here is the beautiful human design chart, and I'm hoping that you can see it by now. So when we look at this chart, for those of you who are brand new to human design, I know it's a lot to take in, but just think the design side is this ancestral wisdom that comes through 3 months before you're born. The DNA, the genetic programming, all of this is like running undercurrent in the background. We will be talking specifically about the personality side, which is, at the solstice time when the breath was taken, this is the chart. Okay. So this is the magic we'll be working with. And if we look at the centers here, we have 2 open centers. So we have the spleen center open, and we have the root center open, and we have the will center open. Everything else is defined, which means we'll just be amplifying this energy of the centers that are open. The ones that are defined or colored in are ones that we're just going to be running with and we know about. Okay. So let's go through this chart. When we look up here, we see that the sun, where we're meant to shine, is in the gate 10, which is the gate of self-love. Are you loving yourself enough, right? Okay. And remember, sun is just ticked over into Capricorn. So in the gate 10, self-love. What do you need to be grounded in to shine in that self-love? Compassion. And there's a lot of activations running off the heart, the G center. So compassion, not just compassion to others, because this is that season where you are compassionate with others. Are you compassionate with yourself? Are you like, I don't have time to do all these things, yet I'm still running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to do all the things? Maybe it's that time you say, you know what? It's just going to be what it is, and it's going to be perfect. And if it's not all done the way I would like to have it done, or everybody else would like to have it done, it's fine. Are you going to do that? Or push yourself and knock yourself off of, that calm, grounded, centered state into chaos and not allowing yourself that space and time Because if you do that, you will not be able to shine in that self-love, which is that nurturing of self, taking care of yourself. Okay, the North Node, which is always like, where are we going in this chart? So where are we going? The sun is always what we're growing into. And this is, a place here. This is a little bit of, it can be hard. So people who have this placement, they're probably people who always take care of other people, forget to take care of themselves, and then they don't take care of themselves. They don't give themselves self-love because they don't feel compassionate towards themselves. And it creates this like push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. But if you can just ground in this, okay, I'm doing too much. I'm tired. I need to rest. I need to go have a tea or coffee or whatever. I need a break from these people. As soon as you give it to yourself, it's like, you've loved yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You get more of that. You start to calibrate a different frequency from your heart center. Remember, frequency is everything. You hear everybody talking about frequency, but legit, you can do your own, you get to decide what's the vibe I'm going to put out here. Okay, what's the vibe I'm putting out today? You get to decide. This is the one thing you can control. So when all else fails, the one thing you can control is your energy, okay? So North Node, where we're growing into at this time, is in the gate 24. The gate 24 is about blessings, recognizing that we transform from the experiences that we have, finding the blessings in the experiences that we've had. Some not so easy, but really respecting and honoring the growth that you've had from the experiences that you've been in. As you honor this period of like, oh, that was really hard, but look at how much I've grown. You're moving towards that North Node. Okay, South Node was in the gate 44, which is the gate of truth. This is the ability to see patterns and things that you're doing that are just like repeating themselves and they're not working. It's like breaking those patterns, seeing the truth, seeing what's happening, and then choosing to consciously move forward. So I like to think of like when you get to your mid 40s, you kind of flip from South Node to North Node. And I just feel energetically like everybody, regardless of what age you're in, is in this flip, like moving from two, and thinking about how do I move from two? I've got to go in, I've got to see this for what it is, and then I've got to decide to see the blessing in this transformation, even though it can be very hard, very, very hard. No massive transformation comes without a sense of loss, of pain, of like discomfort. That's part of the process. But can you see the optimism in that transformation? So remember when I was saying to you about that moon being Sagittarius and being very, very powerful? It is very powerful because it's literally in the gate of power. So think here, power connecting to self-love, self-power, personal power. And I will talk to you about this because I think it's a theme for the entirety of next year, is people being in their personal power. So personal power is here. How do I be in my personal power? How do I feel like I'm in my power so I can let myself be loved? I can give myself the love I need. That I don't need everybody else to fill me up. I can fill up my own self. And as I fill up my own self, my energy and my frequency vibrates at a totally different level than me needing approval, me needing other people to tell me that like I'm good enough, I'm doing enough, I am enough. Like, no, you are enough just because you are alive, period. Your chart will never be duplicated in your lifetime. It's like 25,000 years before it gets duplicated. And I can assure you, you will probably not be here, not as the person you are at the moment. Okay. Now, Mercury, remember, this is the god of communication. He's in 54, and this is divine inspiration. So 54 is down here in the root. Remember, when this is open, okay, it's like we're really expanding into like this deep divine inspiration. There is something here for you that is being kind of like plopped in as a, I really want to do this thing. I'm getting this big, exciting drop through, and that may be like communicating through to you however you receive your information. Some of you will receive it via audio. Some of you will just get a feeling. So it will be a pulse. Like I feel it as a pulse, like a root pulse when it comes through down here in divine inspiration. So you'll just get this like you'll just get this sensation, and it could be like this really beautiful idea that's being seated. Okay. Then we look to Venus, and remember they're right beside each other in the chart, literally conjunct in Capricorn. And 38 is right down here beside, because they're conjunct, and it's like another pulse. But this pulse is the visionary. So Venus as the visionary. She knows where to focus her attention. She knows what to do. As that visionary, she's just got this beautiful way of saying, okay, here's where we're going to put our energy here. And when she speaks to you, depending on how you're connected to your divine feminine, it's like the more you are in beauty or surrounded by beautiful things, the more you trust in yourself, the more worth you have, the more self-love you have, the more you build your personal power, the easier it is for you to be this visionary, the easier it is for you to receive this information. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But this is how simple it can be. People, we overcomplicate everything, but this is something you don't need to overcomplicate. Now, Mars is in gate 35. Okay. So he's in gate 35, and this is the gate of experience. Okay. So he's up here off the throat center. He's able to talk about this experience. Okay. And this is like, which experiences are worthy and worthwhile for you to pursue and put action around? Now, remember here that Mars is still retrograde. So you don't need to move on this immediately, okay? So it's like you're refining and deciding, you're slowly coming to some kind of like action plan. You're putting the pieces in place because he's going to move forward in the middle of January. And it's like what you've been working on through this period of time will then be put into motion come that forward direction. So thinking, what is worthy of me to invest my time into and what's worthwhile? That's what you're thinking about with this, but you're speaking it, like bringing it into fruition, bringing it into manifestation by just like acknowledging the thing, whatever it is. Jupiter, remember, he's the god of like expansion. He's in gate 25, and this is the gate of spirit. What is your spiritual connection? What does your spiritual connection look like? And this can be new from what it has always been, because he just moved into Aries out of Pisces, creating this new 12-year cycle. So there's a new way. And if you've never connected with spirit before, if you've had a very religious upbringing and connecting with spirit outside of your regular practice, you get to play with it now. You can play with it in new ways. Open up to all the opportunities. Maybe you want to start practicing channeling. Maybe you want to start practicing pulling cards. Maybe you want to practice, sharing your journey of your own spiritual practice with the masses. This could be a beautiful way for you to really dive into a practice for yourself, but also share it with other people. Because I think a lot of people are looking for new ways to be connected to. What does a spiritual connection look like? Hence why I started the podcast, Cosmically Connected, because it was about, bringing and talking about our connection to our version of spirit, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. Saturn is in the gate 49 right here, which is the gate of the catalyst. Like he is literally pushing us into this next thing. Ready or not, here I come. And he's like, it is time. Okay. So what are we catalyzing? What are we thinking about? What do we want to get going? And if you're not ready for it, it doesn't matter. He's like, you're ready. We're going. The car is leaving the station. Train is leaving the station. Are you ready? And we have Uranus, who, I like to call him the rogue entrepreneur. And like, you just see like all these, it's like ignition, like ignite, ignition, something. It's like the heart fire is being really lit up here. And there is this beautiful energy of allowing. Okay. So Uranus sits in the gate of allowing. Well, allowing is like, am I allowing myself to lean back, to feel supported, to feel trusted, to follow these crazy wild dreams that I have? Because like, how are they going to pay my bills? You may be having this conversation with yourself right now, but what if you could trust that the more you step into your creativity, your passion, your heart's fire, that it would just be like, it would all work out? Because I believe the more magnetic we become, the more aligned we become with the feelings that, ignite that fire within us, and boom, start to really put that heart fire out into the world. Like people find you. people find you, the right opportunities find you, the right experiences find you, all the right things find you when you're in this place of receptivity, this place of love and compassion and understanding that you being you is the greatest gift you could ever give to the world, and that you trust in spirit and you trust in yourself and you fully embody this life experience, that there's something big here for you if you want it and if you're willing to allow it to be there. But if you're afraid, because there's a lot of fear being amplified, how can you drop out of fear and into like more excitement? How can you see the fear as like, ooh, these are twinges of excitement. How can I make this more fun, less serious, less scary? Now, we have Neptune in the gate 36, which is the gate of exploration. The cool thing about the gate of exploration is that it's connecting to experience, right? It's connecting to Mars. So that 36 says to us, can we hold the vision with a sustainable emotional frequency? And remember, I was telling you, like, you can plug into all the potentials and possibilities. Once you do that, it creates this little like lightning storm in your brain that fires all of these, like a photon storm, and it creates these feelings for you. I feel so excited. I feel so whatever. And the more you play in the space of that, it creates this calibration, and your heart starts to magnify all of those experiences, new experiences, for you to explore and look towards. And this is the beauty. And then we have Pluto in the gate 60. Okay. So Pluto in the gate 60 is the gate of conservation. And this is the ability to find blessings in transformation, to focus on what is working instead of what is not working. If you find yourself right now so focused on what isn't working, it's hard for you to stay in the place and the space of potentiality. It's hard for you to calibrate, excite, move towards something new, something bold, something beautiful. Okay, so let me just stop the share, come back to you here. Okay, so just to close this out, I'm going to show you again the astrology, just so I can kind of bring this all home for you. So if you remember, I was talking about Saturn being in the catalyst in the 9th house. What do you want to become the teacher in? Where are you the authority already? This is something for you to look at. We also have Vesta at the midheaven of this chart, and Vesta is our heart fire, this desire to move something into the world, however you want to move it forward into the world. This is in the 10th house, which is the work we do in the world. So what are you passionate about? What is really on your heart to speak to? Because you know enough. You know enough. You don't need another course. You don't need another training. You need a support system to help you feel strong enough to do it. Okay. And really building a spiritual practice, whatever that looks like for you, going into yourself, going in to come out. That's like my theme for this coming year is I've got to go in to be able to shine out, go in to come out. But I will talk to that actually. So, you've seen this 1,000 times, and there are other astrologers out there doing really beautiful charts that you can go even deeper. But I want to give you with like 30 minutes, a little blip to be like, how can I take this energy of the solstice and do something with it for myself? And I want to just say this here, that I believe next year will be the year of personal power. So the greatest gift that you can give to yourself is going into, what do I need? Where do I need to be supported to help me, come out in my shine, to feel confident enough to take the thing that I've been thinking about bringing forward, but actually to bring it forward into the world, to share my gifts, with the world. Because I will say this again, your chart will not be duplicated for 25,000 years, which means that if this beautiful energy goes to the grave with you and you never got to share to live all of this chart out, I just think that would be so sad and such a loss. And like, we are here in this time together to be able to do something really beautiful, to share our energy, to collaborate, to be creative, to do things differently than they've ever been done before. And this is the new path. This is that moving into, the Aquarian age, is where we do things differently. We communicate differently. We feel differently. We allow ourselves to feel. That's probably number one. We allow ourselves to share our feelings, which is a big thing for a lot of people. And we move into the more feminine side of ourselves and share the beauty of who we are, how we create, how worthy we already are, how we feel. And if you're not there yet, you will soon be there. Just stay with me. Keep coming back. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep listening. Take what works, get rid of what doesn't, and go from there. So let's just pull a couple of cards to see if there's any other energies like I've missed or you need to hear before I let you beautiful souls get back to your lives and go and enjoy this solstice time. When you're doing your little solstice ceremony, you can, light a candle. You can, oops, I'm dropping cards here. You just take a quiet moment, sit in the dark. We'll say the stars are most bright the day before and the day after the solstice, right? The solstice is the shortest day and the longest night. So if the sky is clear, go out and connect. Don't just look at the chart, but go out and connect with the actual living, breathing cosmos and see how it makes you feel. It might make you stand up a little taller. It might make you feel connected or feel like you belong. Feel like there's just something there for you. All right. I can't make this kind of thing up. Self-love. Self-love is the thing. Third eye chakra. What visions are coming in for you? What are the beautiful visions coming in for you? Love that self-love came first. And rest and relax. Absolutely. I can't say that more. This is the time. Try your best to decompress from the crazy. Unplug from the status quo and do what just feels good. Do what feels fun and creative for you, and you will have an even more beautiful holiday season. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm sending you all lots of love, all lots of support. And I do want to mention this, that you have till January 31st to get the Divine Feminine Frequency, where I literally talk to you like this and share with you where Venus is every single day and where the moon is every single day and how that is going to energetically affect your day. How can you hone it? We pull cards every day. We do the thing. It's like a really beautiful little space for you to feel like, I got this day and I can go out and do the thing. You can still get in at the founder's rate of $11. It's like 11.11. And then it goes up to 33 because it's just going to get even better. So if you want to lock in at that $11 rate, now is your time, friends. The link is below. Have a wonderful day. Thank you again so much for being here. Happy solstice. And I'll be back for a new moon in Capricorn video in the next day. Bye-bye.